Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Which says a lot in itself because she was not playing. Harriet was like, what's up, honey?
100 years later, the Negro still is not free. The life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. This nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
We are back with another video. We are back with another Black History Month video. Today is a little known Black History fact. It's on Harriet Tubman. I know you guys guessed that one. Harriet was an American abolitionist and political advocate. Born into slavery, Tubman escaped and made some 13 missions to rescue approximately 70 enslaved people, including family and friends, using the network of anti-slavery activists and safe houses known as the Underground Railroad. She was born in Dorchester County, Maryland, and she died in New York. So that's it for this little known Black History Month. You guys can get back to the video. So it is Diasha, and today we are going to be reviewing a Black movie, which is Harriet the movie.
Listen for them.
So the main character who played Harriet was Cynthia Erivo. Awesome actress. Awesome. I think she already has a Tony and a Grammy maybe. She's an awesome singer. I was already following her before she took the lead of Harriet. She's from the UK and she is an awesome actress, and I feel that they did an awesome job with lining up her to be Harriet, because they do resemble a little bit, and she embodied all of her characteristics.
Ready?
Says Harriet Tubman's escape from slavery and transformation into one of America's greatest heroes. Her courage and tenacity freed hundreds of slaves and changed the course of history. And I just think that Harriet deserves all the accolades that she can get. I know she's dead now. She died in, I think, 1913. I don't know. I'll put it across the screen, the correct answer. But she was an awesome woman. I just think that it just brings us to, makes you think about the things that you can accomplish if you just put your mind to it and do it. Because everyone was telling her that she couldn't do this and that it couldn't be done. But Harriet was like, who's not gonna be free? Essentially, that's what she was saying. And she proved all of them wrong over and over and over again. So Harriet served as the Union Army during the Civil War as a scout and a spy. So she was basically, I think she was the first woman to ever be in charge of an armed group of troops, which says a lot in itself because she was not playing. Harriet was like, what's up, honey? Play with Harriet if you want to. Harriet did not play at all.
So don't you tell me what I can't do.
So a few fun facts about Harriet. Harriet was born into slavery in Eastern Maryland sometime between 1820 and 1821. Because of the cruelty of her various masters, she desired to somehow escape from bondage from a very early age and free others as well. She later recalled, "I had seen their tears and sighs, and I had heard their groans, and would give every drop of the blood in my veins to free them." That says a lot about who she is. She would rather die than to continue to see her friends and family and black people enslaved. If we had that mindset in this day and age, black people would be further ahead than we are now. But instead we have that crabs in a bucket mentality where it's every man for himself and nobody wants to help anybody. And as you guys see, we're not getting anywhere with that mentality. Another fact is, as a child, she received a severe head injury. So like I told you guys, when she got to her final destination where they housed the enslaved, well now free, the free slaves, she had to tell the guy about her experience as being a slave. And one of the things was she had got hit in the head with, I can't remember with what, but she got hit in the head. And when she was telling him that, he put possible, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he was basically saying that she might have been off a little bit. So as she was doing errands, an overseer tried to stop a runaway slave by throwing a 2-pound weight at him. He hit Tubman instead, who was standing nearby the runaway, and caused her skull to crack, which affected her health for the rest of her life, often in form of seizures. I did not know that. And she was doing all this running and all of this alone, and she had her own medical problems to tend to. This lady, I'm telling you guys, she was one of a kind. Another interesting fact about her is, after escaping from slavery, she returned to Maryland in 1850 as an Underground Railroad conductor. She chose to do so after hearing her niece was soon to be auctioned off. She would go on to rescue over 70 other slaves until the outbreak of the Civil War, and did not fail a single rescue. It was during this time she acquired her nickname Moses. So in the movie they had this bounty out for Moses, and everybody could not figure out who Moses was. The whole time Moses was Harriet, and the slave masters they thought that it was a white man, which is why they named it Moses, but they could not put their finger on who was coming to get all these slaves. And when the slaves were free, the slave masters were losing money, so they were getting angry and frustrated that they could not catch the person that was taking all these slaves from them. Fact 4. She employed numerous disguises on her first successful attempt to escape from slavery. She would often pretend to be a field hand by walking around with chickens, or as a house service when she stayed at the home of an abolished couple. One notable disguise she used was pretending to read a newspaper to allay suspicion, as she was known to be illiterate. Harriet was something else. She employed spirituals and songs as coded messages to her followers. So she would always sing in the movie, and the songs had meaning. So if you listen to the words, like right when she was leaving, she locked eyes with her mom and she was singing the song. If I can find it, I'll insert it. If not, I'll let you guys know. But she did not play. Harriet did not play at all. And the final fact is fact 5. Tubman joined the Union Army as a nurse, but also acted as a scout and spy behind enemy lines. Despite her efforts and general fame, she was only able to acquire a nurse pension after the war ended, which is very sad. Just like today's time, you can work really, really hard and still don't reach your highest capacity. So Harriet, I salute you. I thank you for all that you did. As you guys know, I am my ancestors' wildest dreams. I can read, I can write, I can pursue the career I want to pursue. I am just living in a time where I am very thankful that I can do this. Because as you see, it was hard for Harriet just to be free. And here we are not even appreciating the time that we're in today. So if you can read and you can write and you're pursuing or doing what you love to do, be thankful, because somebody lost their life. Somebody got hit with a frying pan and got their skull fractured for you to be in the position that you're in today. So be thankful for where you are, no matter where. And if you aren't where you want to be, work. They told Harriet that she couldn't go and she couldn't be free. But guess what Harriet told them? I'ma do it. And guess what she did? She did it.
I will give every last drop of blood in my veins until this monster called slavery is dead.
So you know, I wrote a little list, as I always do when I went to the movies, and now I'm here filming it. So Harriet was different. So I know it's becoming very, very normal for everyone to do the slave movies and portray black people in a certain way, but I can say in this movie it was different. They did an awesome job of showing the positives and the not so positives of black people during that time period as well. So Harriet was an armed black woman in her era when she was doing the Underground Railroad. If you guys didn't know, the Underground Railroad was, Harriet was like the leader of it, and she helped take a lot of people from their slave sites into freedom. And it was very dangerous and it was very risky, but nonetheless she wasn't scared to do it at all, and she helped thousands. Even in the movie, there were a few people doing it here and there. Of course, Harriet, she went and did it. And one thing I got from that movie is that it seemed like it couldn't be done until it was done. So everyone was telling Harriet how crazy she was for wanting to escape. And when she made up her mind and she knew that this is what she was going to do, she went to her dad. And her dad told her to go to the preacher. And what's so funny is at the beginning of the movie, the preacher was preaching to the slaves that you have to be obedient to your master, you have to learn how to obey their rules. And the preacher was also the one that was helping these people get free. So I thought that was very, very clever in itself, because no one suspected that the pastor was helping these people get free. So that helped a lot of black people get free. She led black troops to freedom. I said that. And another interesting part about Harriet is that she was so young. She was young. She was doing all of this. She was in her 20s. She was very active. She was running in heels and corsets and those big old petticoats and all this material, and she was running to freedom. No, I'm sure she was afraid, but nonetheless she was on a mission to be free, because she wanted a better life for herself. And her fearlessness was very, very, very inspiring. She not only did she free herself, she also went back to help her family. She went back to help her friends. She went back to help what she thought was her man, but you know, wasn't her man anymore. She had been gone too long. Poor Harriet. And she even was awarded, she was initiated into this exclusive group to help free the slaves. And in the movie, it was okay, so she made up her mind to be free, and then her dad told her to go to the reverend, and then the reverend told her to go to another spot, and everyone had connections. So when she finally got to her final spot, they asked her what she wanted her name to be, and she said Harriet Tubman. She just made up an alias because she wanted to be free, and she did not want to be known for those old things, I guess. So nonetheless, Another thing I really enjoyed in that movie was how Janelle Monáe was portrayed, because I think that we oftentimes did not forget that there were black people who were free in that era, and she was free, she was educated, she was well spoken, and essentially she was doing everything right, and nonetheless she still was killed in the movie. And another point is that you can tell how Harriet Hart was, because when the master that she didn't get along with, he says that she was his favorite slave, but I'm sure nobody has a favorite slave master. But nonetheless, he was the one that went and looked for her when she went missing. When, you know, everyone kind of covered for her, but then it came to a point when everybody noticed that she was missing. And they had this standoff, and she rather drown and die than be enslaved again. And that was a lot to think about in itself. And they had another run-in when she went back to get more people. They had another run-in, and she had the opportunity to basically shoot and kill him, but instead she didn't. She just told him how she felt, and she told him that she doesn't want to live like this, and she doesn't deserve to live like that. So that was another point. And I must say, the music in that movie was A1. Cynthia can sing her heart out. That girl, she is so talented. The way she portrayed the emotion, the way she made us feel, her facial expressions, I would definitely say a 10 out of 10. And then the trailer that they put out was very accurate. They weren't over advertising or giving you false hope or anything. Everything was just what I thought it would be. They did an awesome job with the rendition of that movie. I would rate that movie a strong 8 or 9, because they did get the point across. They didn't dwell in the horrible parts of slavery. They did touch on it here and there. They were honest, but nonetheless they did keep it real to the story. They dramatized a few things, but I've read that story over and over again, and nonetheless it was just what I thought it would be. So I don't want to make this video too long. If you guys have any questions, don't watch this video. I guess it's kind of like late to say that. I'll put it at the beginning of the video. But don't watch this video if you haven't seen the movie Harriet. Don't watch this video. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Okay, but that's gonna be it for this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.